While certainly the process of having legislation approved by Parliament is, let's say, the culmination of the efforts, I think it's important to recognize that a reform of our healthcare system or national health insurance is a complicated process, and we need time to work together with stakeholders to make sure that everybody's concerns and feedback is incorporated. So while the culmination will come with the eventual, hopefully, approval by Parliament of legislative changes, there are many moving pieces to NHI and national health reform. And so we need the time not only for legislation, but also for the consultative process and making sure that we get national health insurance and national health reform correctly. You know, if we have a system that's underfunded, that's going to translate into a lack of proper health care for our citizens. And if it's overfunded, in other words, if it generates too much money, it means that that's money that's removed from our economy, which also is destructive. So we are, as I've mentioned in the past, looking for a Goldilocks solution, something that's not too expensive, not too cheap, but just right. I'd like to also announce that we are planning on short notice to begin with a more intense inspection schedule, an intense compliance effort. So I make the distinction between inspection and compliance because I think that our overall goal is to improve compliance with our laws and our rules in the country. And I think making sure that businesses and citizens are aware of what those rules are is as important as the compliance efforts of the inspectors. So the information is available on our website, ministryvsa.sx. So our effort is to improve compliance, of which inspections is part of the tools available to the ministry. We are in discussion with the other ministries towards working a renewed effort towards interministerial cooperation. If you remember, since the time of the controls at Maho, there haven't been that broad interministerial cooperation in terms of our inspections. There's been pockets of cooperation, but we're in discussions again about how to renew that interministerial cooperation. And why is compliance an issue? Why is it something that we're focusing on? Because I believe that a lack of compliance translates into, number one, a loss of revenues possibly for government. It exposes government to risks. For example, as Minister of VSA, we are signing for medical evacuations for undocumented and uninsured patients, and these expenditures include air ambulance and often very expensive medical expenditures, which come out of the budget of the governments. So it exposes governments to financial risk. It also exposes employees to unsafe and perhaps unfair working conditions. And I think when you have poor compliance, it also means that as businesses compete with each other, the people who don't comply have a competitive advantage. So it creates an unlevel playing field and actually incentivizes businesses to not be compliant. So in order to have a level playing field, in order to make sure that our economy functions properly, compliance is critical. And perhaps most importantly, it also means that if you have people who are working here who are not documented, who don't have their paperwork in order, it's a missed opportunity for our local citizens to be properly employed. So when we speak about compliance, what is it that we're really speaking about is, number one, if you have to have a work permit, and the people who are required to have a permit, or people who are exempted from having a work permit include permanent residents, people who are married to Dutch nationals, or Dutch passport holders. So unless you fit one of those criteria, you are obligated to have a work permit. Make sure you get your work permits. I'm going to go through a list. Copy of your Chamber of Commerce registration, copy of your business license, copies of director's licenses, copy of your labor registration, copy of employment and residence permits for the employees, copies of your SZV cards and SZV registration of employees, copy of lists of personnel, work schedules of employees, overtime registry for employees, and a number of health and safety standards which I won't go into, but include lighting, proper environment, ventilation, clean drinking water, and proof that the employees receive pay slips. So expect a more intense control schedule, and I will be joining the control team for some of these. I do like the field trips to go out and kind of get a feeling for what's happening in the community so that we can take the real, what's happening in the community and bring it back to Council of Ministers and make sure that what we see and what needs to be corrected is addressed in a structural manner within the policies of government.
Tell Night of the Hitmakers. Tell Night of the Hitmakers. 5th year anniversary. The dance floor is back. Friday, April 28th, 2017 at Carnival Village. The ultimate dance party featuring Impact Band, Kai, formerly known as Karimi, Jean-Marc Ferdinand, Claudius Phillips, Farmer Nappy, and the Queen of Bacchanal, Destra. See you at the 5th year anniversary of Telcel Night of the Hitmakers. Partners, Telcel. This is an extra tight entertainment production. Just say I.
Need a loan that's quick and easy. Island Finance. Up to 50,000 guineas real easy. Island Finance. For education, a renovation. That's no problem. Yes, it's true. That's not all. They're quick and friendly too. Island Finance. Appliances, vacations, even fix your car. You can depend on Island Finance.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Life is a journey full of connections. You're in safe hands, even when life starts too soon. You don't have to miss a single beat. When a bad hair day makes you sad, just sharing can bring you joy and more to come. They take the plunge, turn fear into faith, while you capture those beautiful moments. In the game of life, it's family that counts. They'll be there even when you lose. We all have our moments of reflection and hope. And when you feel you're losing everything in life, we're there because there's more to come. When life starts too soon, you don't have to miss a single beat. We're here to connect you and share life. Telcel, when you want more.
This weekend is the St. Martin Week. It's something that's going to be happening all over the Dutch Kingdom. As a ministry, we are very proud to have put forward some projects as well. I must commend the Martin Luther King Jr. management and staff for initiating the painting of their school as well as their benches, and they did that on their own. Very commendable. As a result of the initiative of the ministry, 3 public schools will be having murals done. That is the Leonard Connor School, the Ruby LaBegar School, and the Marie Genevieve the Weaver School. We'll be aiming, of course, to do more within the year by the other schools, as it serves to highlight positivity and using art to encourage the rest of the school on a daily basis, as well as the staff and parents, to live in unity with each other, to live with tolerance and peace. The National Institute for Professional Advancement is also carrying out a NEPA project in terms of agriculture. Many schools and after-school programs are doing that, so we're seeing a great surge where agriculture is concerned. And so I encourage all volunteers to go out there in numbers. If you have not registered yet, go online, look for those great initiatives that have been put out there, and give a helping hand. And besides doing that, on March 11th and 12th, I look forward to that spirit of volunteerism going on throughout, not only during. So I thank you. And I will personally making the rounds of our schools that are busy at the marriage, and will hopefully be able to lend my beautifying that wall and contributing also to. Sticking with culture for a moment, I'm very proud to attend as a guest of Association Valley Colombier. Had a wonderful vacation last Saturday, where together with the community of Colombia as well as many visitors, including we were able to celebrate the making of roots in the old way. So we were able to get a tutorial. Many of us were able to get our hands dirty in terms of picking or cleaning or washing or actually pounding in the big, hauled out tree trunks. The mortar and the pestle was as big as a man, and we even have footage of 2-year-olds fighting that pestle to be able to pound as well. I must commend that root jollification event of this association that continues to work throughout the year to promote culture and nature. And so that area of the country is very fertile, but we have many such also outside. And it coincides with our initiative of get more agriculture in the schools, and we're currently working on a curriculum to actually do that in a full way, even whilst we have Mr. John Richardson working with some of the schools already in terms of getting gardens planted. So that definitely fits with our vision, and I was happy to see that process being perpetuated, and I hope to see it continue for years to come. Moving over to sports, on Sunday, upcoming on the 12th of March, on the 13th selection of the national soccer team will be traveling to Aruba to take part in the Himno Bandera soccer tournament, which will feature all Dutch Caribbean islands, Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, St. Martin, as well as 2 South American countries, Colombia and Venezuela. So we wish them much success in their endeavors. It's their second time attending this event, and we're proud to be able to send out a team from the national under 13 young boys. Much success to them. As well as on last Saturday, we had the opening in Martin Lit League Association competition, their regular competition, which caters to from 4 years to 17 years old. And I must say I was very impressed with the turnout, not just of the many teams, but of several parents and volunteers, which seems to be up from the last time we attended. I'm seeing also for the very first time, and as today's Women's Day, I would like to highlight that, for the very, very first time, they have females teams. So girls have always been open to play since my day, I must say, the early 80s. However, we're seeing a surge now in girls playing not only on the boys teams, but there are 3 full-fledged softball girls teams as well. So I encourage the population, and especially the parents, guardians, and family members of these children to go out there and support them. More of you on the field will mean more children being encouraged to do positive things, which will mean less children doing negative things. And that is what we want to promote. In other updates, I must state that the electrical upgrade, I had a walk last Friday at the Leonard Connor School, and it is completed, the electrical upgrade. However, some small maintenance should be finalized before the school can move in, and we'll be able to update you on that as soon as that is completed. But at least for the electrical upgrade, which was done courtesy, thankfully, due to the contribution of GEBE, which I thank them most heartily for, has been completed. And so once the other small maintenance is taken care of, I'm hoping that sooner rather than later the school can be back in its home space, also in time for us to, after beautifying it in a weekend, hopefully by next week.
People all across St. Martin are switching to a more rewarding experience. The WIB MasterCard Fun Miles credit card, better known as My Card. Earn 1 Fun Mile for every $2 spent, even abroad and online. This will quickly get you a ton of Fun Miles to redeem for travel, shopping, food, fuel, and much more. But there's more to My Card. Worldwide acceptance, an EMV chip for extra security, and 250 free Fun Miles with first use. Switch to My Card today at WIB.
Fun miles, from within your reach.
Yes, it is. It is a good benefit for the public. The Lions Club is a service club, and anything to do with the community and making sure that the community is healthy and happy, we're there. And we will host this until forever, I guess. The Lions Club will, as long as we're here and there's Lions, we'll be having our health and wellness fair.
How's the respondents of your stakeholders who's coming every year that they make sure they come? Is that doing well?
Oh yes, sometimes we even get, hey, we haven't heard from you as yet. What's going on with the health fair? When is it going to be? So they're very excited and happy to be doing this every year. Like again, it's all about the community and helping persons, and they are happy to do that. And they look for this fair every year. And we're very appreciative of all stakeholders that take part in the Lion Rudy Hoover's Health and Wellness Fair.
And how is it doing for the Lions itself? Are you getting good response really that people are meeting you up and telling you that, okay, I know you mentioned that, but because I think last year you didn't have that much people, but you made sure to set up a very good campaign to attract a lot of people. You want them to come,
Yes.
you want them to fix a thing.
Yes, last year we had to fight between the Heineken Regatta, the St. Martin Doot. So everybody was trying to do, I guess, different things that day because there were, I think, those two different happenings going on at the same time. We had our health fair. But this year, yes, we've had persons, stop us and ask us, when is the health fair? And like stakeholders are also saying, yeah, people are asking about when is the health fair. So yeah, and this year we decided to push a little harder and let everybody know that the health fair is there and to come on out. And again, like we said, it's free.
All right, my name is Leopold Merrick. I'm the acquisition manager at Henderson Insurances. Essentially, the information to be provided at the health fair is going to center around primarily retirement planning. Retirement planning can range essentially from investment strategies, which allows you the ability to build capital via the stock market. We even go as far as discussing ideas as to which life insurance products are most ideal for you, depending on the various stages of your financial planning. And then lastly as well, pension planning or building a reasonable pension plan is extremely important for this region as well too. So those are the three primary topics that informational-wise we'll be presenting.
Now, you say you're there for 3 years. Did any good benefit for your company of getting people to be insured, especially for life insurance?
Well, definitely an opportunity, as this is always beneficial in terms of exposure-wise. But what I'll say is partnering with the Lions with such an event of this magnitude definitely helps bring more awareness to the population where retirement planning is concerned. Within the region, we see that many individuals, and especially in St. Martin in particular, once they reach pensionable age, most of them are only going to receive the AOV or the state pension. And it's very important to think in advance, how do we properly plan for that stage of our lives? So referring to healthcare, there's various medical plans that we can present and also discuss more in detail in terms of what is most affordable in your price range or what is most necessary in terms of your insurance or medical needs. But primarily, being able to identify what would be the best structure in terms of setting up a retirement plan is very key, and that is something we're going to touch point on where that is concerned.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
Let me also say that this year, the focus is, as you can see, putting people first. That's the objective of the party, because we noticed that in the previous, let's say, mandate, the focus was on different things. And we know that for a fact that humans, people are the real wealth of nation, and development is indeed about people. So the focus for us is primarily on making sure that jobs are created, because if there's no job, there will be indeed delinquency, and to go a little further, there will also be criminality, and that's not good for us as a people, but it's also not so good for our tourist industry. So definitely one of the top priorities will be the creation of jobs, and how we will do that. We will, of course, revitalize the tourist industry. And one of the things that we know that we lost over the period of 10 years, more than half of the rooms. So our focus will be also on creating what we call a 5-star hotel. And that we think will help stimulate job creation. We also focus on doing a pier in the Margot waterfront, and that is to attract the mega yachts, people or tourists with a stronger buying power. We will also, of course, try to see if we can help revamp or reconstruct some of the broken down homes in the Marigot area. And this is in a nutshell to booster or to inject some life in the economy of St. Martin. So this is a top priority. Why is it a top priority? Because we know at the level of the unemployment agency, we have close to 5,000 people in strike, and this is not healthy. It breeds delinquency, like I said a while ago, and this type of environment is not conducive for economic development. The second focus, of course, will be on education. Why we are really fighting our utmost best to upgrade the education system, simply because we know that the school rate, the failure rate in school is very high, and this also cannot sustain a developing country. We will, of course, introduce what we call bilingual education, and this is to give or to increase the equal opportunity for all. We also know that if you are coming from an English background, the struggle or the obstacles are more when the language of instruction in French with the language of instruction being French. So this is an obstacle that we expect to overcome by introducing English also in the classroom. When you look at the other major candidate, what he's proposing to help the delinquency, to help unemployment, is building a prison. We are not about imprisoning our youths, we are about educating them. And this is the major difference. As a matter of fact, I think if you have to summarize the two candidates, or the two major candidates in this election, which is Louis Mussington and the other one, not to call his name, he's about putting the priority on building a prison. And we are about putting the emphasis on creating jobs and also educating our people. So this is our major, let's say, our key platform. But besides that, we know that we are in the 21st century, and the digital, let's say, computerization or the digital field is expanding, and we cannot remain outside of that trend or outside of that evolution. So we'll be giving greater emphasis on making sure that each and every school in St. Martin are equipped with computers, and this is to give our children an early start as far as being familiar with the computer, to increase their computer literacy, because this is one of the skills that we definitely need to be competitive in the 21st century.